with the first session, I went from depressed and suicidal to having a gratitude to be alive in an hour and 15 minutes. The thing I love about Access is you experience the change so often in real time. And then it grows over time, which I also love about it. You're starting to give yourself choice and agency over your life. And when you go from avoidance to observation, that is one of the greatest elements of freedom for you. That's one of the greatest elements of no longer believing you need to put up walls and barriers and contract to try not to be beaten by the world. You start to realize just because the world wants to beat me doesn't mean I have to let it. I had my Access Consciousness bar session. This lady named Shannon O'Hara, and she gave me a question to ask. The question was, who does this belong to? Now, what she said was, 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions don't belong to you. You've been picking them up your whole life like a big tuning fork that just the vibration of another tuning fork hits and you vibrate it and you think it's yours and nobody's ever told you. And I was like, wow. And looking over the depression and the suicidal thoughts that I had had, I was like, huh, I wonder if any of this could be that. Well, guess what? 2 days later, literally with the first session, I went from depressed and suicidal to having a gratitude to be alive in an hour and 15 minutes. The thing I love about Access is you experience the change so often in real time. And then it grows over time, which I also love about it. And so I was like on top of the world. A couple of days later, I woke up and I had the familiar sense of depression and nothing was right and everything was wrong and nothing is working. And I was like, man, after this too, because I'd had that so many times after weekend workshops where I would have that. And I was like, oh, shit. So I'm wallowing in self-pity. I look over at my clock to see how much longer I can cry my tears under my covers in bed. And when Shannon gave me that question, I wrote, who does this belong to, on a sticky note. I look over at my clock where the sticky note happened to be because that's where I unloaded my pockets. Thank you, consciousness, okay? Because otherwise I wouldn't have thought about it or seen it. I was in my old familiar yuck, stuck, and what the F. And I look over and I just glance and read these words. Who does this belong to? And it disappears. Like all the clouds out of the sky, gone. Sunny, beautiful. I was like, what happened? And so I'd unwittingly asked a question, which is a tool. This question is something you can use. And what dissipated out of my world in that moment was the stuff that wasn't mine. And then I looked and I went, oh my God, how much of my depression over the last 3 years, how much of my anger that I've been suppressing, how much of my sense of not being able to do it, how much of my suicidal thoughts weren't actually mine. And I made a demand. I was going to ask, who does this belong to for 3 days? To every thought, feeling, emotion, every change in my energy from the lightness I was then experiencing. And it changed my whole life. It started breaking the machine that made me think that everything was mine. So it started very early, but a few months after that, it's like I could sense it working. I could sense the difference because we all have stress, like stressors, I should say. We don't have to have stress. I don't actually have stress, I have stressors. And so a stressor will activate. The thing that we all learned is to go into reaction, stimulus response. We all have these auto response reaction systems, and they have been running our lives. This person, this response. This bill, this response. This thing about money, this response. This thing about relationship, this response. And so what we're doing is we're doing this autopilot and taking that moment to go, wait, I'm going to ask a question. What question can I ask here? And if you can't think of anything else, go, what else is possible? If it's something that you want to change, what else is possible? What's it going to take to change this? And then another one, what's right about me that I'm not getting? And here's the other thing that occurs over time. You don't get it. You don't realize it at first usually. But what you're doing is you're starting to give yourself choice and agency over your life. You're no longer being run as a reactive organism. You're now taking a moment to go, yes, I know I'm supposed to respond this way. I know you want me to. You're not thinking this cognitively. Okay, this is just what occurs. Yes, I know I'm supposed to, and I know you want me to, but I'm going to take a moment with me and me. Okay, I get it. It's there. It's supposed to screw me up and stress me out. What else is possible? I've never considered. What's it going to take to change this? What's right about this and what's right about me I'm not getting? And then from there, rather than something to be avoided, it's something to be observed. And when you go from avoidance to observation, that is one of the greatest elements of freedom for you. That's one of the greatest elements of no longer believing you need to put up walls and barriers and contract to try not to be beaten by the world. You start to realize just because the world wants to beat me doesn't mean I have to let it. Recognize that certain of the things we'll talk about seem so far beyond what you think you know how to choose right now, maybe. Another part of the structure we grew up with is if we get new information or a new possibility and would like to choose it, then what happens is we then go through our computational mechanisms of, can we create this? How do I do this? Oh, I don't know how. Okay, then I reject it. So what this is about is, in a sense, a really dynamic softening rather than rejecting. Rather than rejecting the possibility, it's about a softening into, okay, I may not know how it's possible. I may not even know that it is possible, but something lit me up from inside. That's me talking. So what's it going to take to have me show up? And what's it going to take for me to allow the resources that are available to me that are not available to this structure of lies I've been pretending is me? And now what else is possible? And a lot of you might notice as we're having this conversation, you get to melt a bit. You get to expand a bit. See, you are a very large being with a cute little body. And when you're getting to be you, it's got a sense of space to it. And the contraction from that sense of space is far less real. And we get to no longer go on the autopilot journey, which is what we've been on, which has created the life that hasn't worked. So truly, what else is possible now? And if you're tired of us asking that question, I don't blame you. And what else is possible now? We're not just saying words, we're presenting the concept and giving you a way that you can embrace the concept. What else is possible now? Because let's face it, like one of the things I got to 25 years ago when I was ready to end my life if things didn't change was, if I don't have more possibilities, I don't want to be here. And how many of you are in that place, but how many of you have been trying to create the possibilities from the structured reality you had before? That, number one, we've mentioned how much of that is lies, if it's limited at all of it, but also how much of it isn't even yours. Oh, 98% of it. And at this point, you might scratch your head and go, I do not understand. Well, guess what? Number one, it's not about understanding. It's about, if any of this speaks to you, just say yes for you. We're using the very structures that we set up to fit into this contracted reality, the very structures that are creating this contraction to try to get out of the contraction. We're using the very structures that we use to create our lives to try to get out of the structure we've used to create our lives. The other thing these structures tell us, and part of the reason we're using them, is because we've been taught that's all there is. What if that's not all there is anymore? You don't have to eliminate anything you're doing or exploring with access. It's access consciousness, and we have a definition of consciousness where everything exists and nothing is judged. The journey of finding what's true for us beyond the structure, beyond this, all the lies we bought about us. And it's quicker now than it's ever been before. And is far more rewarding, far more quickly. and far more fun. And for those of you that are like, I just want to change my money situation, I just want to change my living situation, my relationship situation, it works for that too. Because the reason your money situation and your relationship situation is not working is because you've made choices that were not congruent with your being. If you choose congruent with your being, the money thing changes, relationship changes. And also because we've made choices based on that tuning fork, vibrating like others that we think are ours. And so it really, really dynamically works on that too, but simultaneously, your level of enjoying living and your quality of life improves dynamically. And what if now's the time? Have you done enough suffering and trying to prove? Have you done enough judgment of you? What if now's the time? What if today you say, yes, whatever it looks like, whatever it takes, I'm going to be me, whatever that is, because I have no clue. You would think we know what we are. We have no clue because we've been living this structure of lies, most of which aren't ours. No matter what it takes, I'm going to be me. I'm going to get out of judgment of me and everything. And I'm going to live the life I'm truly capable of, that even I haven't known until now. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it takes. Will you say yes? Now, don't expect that to show up in any particular way because it will show up in the way it shows up. But when you say yes, the universe, when you ask, the universe, consciousness, spirit, whatever you want to call it, goes to work fulfilling that request. So we're here to make that journey as easy, as smooth as possible, as fun as possible, and to let you know, number one, you're not alone. Number two, you're not wrong. And number three, we are here with you to go on a journey of being also. So let's play. Let's have way more fun than we're supposed to. And what if you truly being you are the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires?